Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world today. My name's Jared, and I'll be presenting or giving the Xanders Zoom update on behalf of Alex. Alex unfortunately can't be here on the call due to some personal stuff going on. So, but she has done an audio recording for us to give us an update of exactly what's happening and what's going down. It's really exciting, and I'm sure that you guys will agree with that as well. So yeah, I'll start playing this audio now.
Hey everyone, good morning, good evening, wherever you're coming in from. I know from Australia and New Zealand, it's night time for you guys. Thanks for taking the time out to listen to this call and to be a part of this amazing opportunity. So I have no internet. This is why this is recorded. I'm currently in the process of moving house. I move house hopefully on Sunday, and my internet provider is being less Nigerian internet. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, I apologize for the recording, but we have some exciting updates. So they say everything happens for a reason. And I'm a great believer in, there's always a silver lining to whatever happens. So the biggest update I need to give you is that you guys smashed it. You are awesome. Without you guys, we have nothing. We love the community here at Xanders, and guys, you did a phenomenal job. You absolutely smashed it. We nearly reached our goal. We nearly did, but it was just within reach where you could just feel it, but you couldn't touch it. Like you felt like if you reached out, you could almost touch it, but not actually grab it. So what happened was, a couple of weeks ago, we raised the money for the deposit. We went in to go and pay for the deposit. We went to meet the agent, and we took our barrister with us, and our barrister was concerned. He had some concerns about paying the deposit. It was quite a lot of money that they wanted up front. And he had some concerns because although the agent said that we could get the money back, what the agents didn't tell us was that, if we didn't reach our target and we didn't pay for the factory, they said, yes, we could take our money back. But what they failed to tell us was we wouldn't get our deposit back until they sold the factory. So we decided not to move forward with the deposit then. But then the real estate started to be annoying and put pressure and saying that they were taking people through and blah, blah, blah. So we decided to pay a small deposit. We paid the small deposit, and we were told that we could occupy the building if we came up with some more money, which we did. We came up with we came up with what they needed. I sent Victor down to the east to go and cash in the USDT. And while he was away, we got a phone call. Well, actually, not even a phone call. They gave us a message on WhatsApp to say they had sold the premises for almost double of what we had negotiated, and that we would get our deposit back, which we have. We've got our deposit back. And moving forward, we were in disbelief because Victor was on a plane. They knew he was on the way down to cash in the USDT, because it was such a large amount. He wanted to be there in person to make sure that everything went smoothly. So we were in shock, and then we were like, where do we go from here? So we decided, Victor and I started talking, and we decided that, our first plan was the best plan. Yes, the factory was exciting and it was ready to go, and we would have been able to make money from day one, but the factory was not 100% what we needed for our needs. So moving forward, we decided to go with what we just at the beginning, what we had already had in plan, which was to buy the land and to build it from scratch. So today, while we're on this call, we have some exciting updates. Victor is will be currently, at the time of this call, will be out making a payment on a block of land. Now, you might say, why don't you just go and look for another factory? Well, we did that. We have looked and we have looked. We've visited factories. We have gone to multiple things, multiple blocks of land, factories, you name it. We went to a factory that was way out of our budget, but we wanted to have a look. It was 150 million naira. We wanted to have a look. When we got there, they had removed all the equipment. So we also had one that was operational, but it was like small and it wasn't what we needed. So we did a lot of groundwork in this since I think Victor went last Tuesday, I believe he went. No, yes, last Tuesday. And so from Tuesday to now, he got stuck in the east. The network provider didn't put through his transfer for his air ticket, so he got stuck down there. And by the time he got back, all we have done is be out on the street in the hot African temperature looking for a solution for you guys. And I think we've found the best solution. So we've found a block of land that will accommodate our needs and give us room for expansion. So moving forward, this is exciting because we can design this factory from the very foundation, from the very first block laid. We can design this factory to suit our needs. So moving forward, I'm excited about that. I've learned a few things about Nigerian real estate, and I'm all the more wiser now. In the location where we are purchasing the land, they're building a main road through there and lots of development. So the land is going to increase in value tenfold. So we also think it's a very good strategic move moving forward because we have excess land that we can either build the accommodation on or sell down the track if we wanted to expand into another state, but we won't do that. Land is a huge commodity here. So yeah, moving forward, the first thing we're going to do is Victor I might even go with him if my internet is not great and I can't get on the call. What I'll do is I'll go with him and I'll video the transfer of the paperwork and the payment, and then we'll take the camera down to the land and we will video the land. And what we'll do is we'll update that into the Telegram group, and then moving forward, we will be able to commence work by Tuesday next week. By Tuesday next week, we should have a truck coming into the facility that will be carrying sharp sand and stone dust. And what we're going to do is everything in Nigeria is built with blocks. So we will be building and molding our own blocks to cut down the cost. So what we'll do first is we'll start a perimeter fence. And then once we've got the perimeter fence in, we will then call in the borehole company and we will get them to drill the borehole, and then we can start the NAVDAC registration process, because we will then be able to take a sample of that water, have it tested, and then we will know what equipment moving while we're building the factory. We'll be able to source the equipment that's needed for the filtration system on that particular borehole, and we will know what's in the water and what needs to be filtered out. So that will determine whether we go reverse osmosis, ultraviolet, etc. So that is a huge factor. We'll also know the capacity, and we'll be able to make huge decisions from there. So every week moving forward, we plan on giving you an update via video, via live, via photos, and we will, moving forward, start the webinars or Zooms on Monday. Once I'm into the new house and I have the office set up, moving forward, we will do the Zooms from Monday to Thursday. And then Thursday night, or maybe Friday. We'll do it Friday, I think. I'll confirm that later. But on a Friday, we will start giving a weekly update where just our partners can be on the call and we can update them and say, well, this is how we went this week and this is what we're doing and this is how far. We believe that it will be 8 to 10 weeks and we should be into the building. And within that time, we'll have all the equipment going in as well. The guys will come down and train us on that equipment. That's the good thing about also buying this equipment new, is that we will get training on it all from the very, when we're moving into the factory, we were going to have to employ someone to teach us how to use those machines. So we'll get 3 days of training, and moving forward, we'll also get technical and warranty support. So I think it's exciting. I think we're moving in the right direction, and this will be a great stepping stone and a great process to know how to move forward into other states. So guys, thank you for being on the call. I appreciate it. Don't go too hard on Jared with questions. The poor guy. Thank you, Jared, for doing the call. I appreciate it. I look forward to updating the Telegram group with some amazing updates. And yeah, I love the fact that you as a community are going to watch this process unfold in front of your eyes. And hopefully I will do it justice with our videos, with our lives, and with all of our photos. Take care, guys. Thanks for being on the call.
Okay. So yeah, it's for me, from a project aspect, I've watched this and I think this is a very strategic move in moving forward. I've got a cost analysis here of how much extra it's going to cost to actually build from scratch. So yeah, we'll what I'll do before we do, Alex did show a short video of the actual how big this piece of land is, so I'm going to just share that now.
Right, there's the road. All of that, including these two shops, all the way down to the bottom post, past that street.
Where are we? Yeah, so that's the mess. That's a big piece of land. Now, now this was her audio recording was done 24 hours ago. Now, since then, because of her issues at home, she had to call the electrician. The electrician actually set up the factory that got the old factory that we're going to buy. That they so they got it working to make sure it all ran properly. Now she's using that same electrician for her own place, so she called him up for an issue at her own house, and he came and actually told her that he's just finished. He was at the factory. Now 3 of the machines. Now this is a blessing in disguise, guys. 3 of the machines actually blown up because the new people have bought it, and all the electrical needs to be rewired because it needs to be upgraded to 3-phase power or something along those lines. So there's a lot of issues there already, which is going to cost those new owners a lot of money. So for me, I'm a firm believer in, we're doing this the right way. The real estate, yeah, screwed us over, but I believe that that's a massive blessing in disguise, because we can, for only 10 to 12,000 US more, we can actually build this from scratch. And with the way we're going to do it is it's only going to be about 3 to 4 weeks longer for it to be to start. So I'm just going to show a couple of slides here just to show you the cost analysis of what needs to be done, which Alex had already done this prior to the crowdfunding, because we were going to go down this route to begin with, but then this factory came along and it looked and felt that this was the right way to go. But you know, from project aspects, some things just change, and looking at it, it's yeah. Okay, so the land, which is massive, it's a lot bigger than the land that original factory was on, is 8 million naira. So I'll just do it in all US dollars. Sorry, I've got to move this out the way. So this is all in April, which we're going to be building simultaneously. So purchasing of the land, probably be, we've already bought, so I just put down April because yeah, the borehole drilled with $4,500 US. And at the same time, what that's going to be happening, we're going to be building the security perimeter, which is going to be roughly 8,500 to 9,000 US. Now, this is all overestimated from what we've been given, because we just want to make sure we've got enough funds. Now, we will also be building, Alex mentioned that we'll be building or making our own blocks for about half the price, hiring these block makers and yeah, doing all of that at the same time. And it's not going to be as much the amount of time building compared to making. There's not much difference, so it's going to be really efficient as well. The factory built, now that's where I'm gauging it's going to be in June. Sometimes it's going to cost about 44,000 US dollars. That's with all the electrical and the generator, and the filtration piping, machines and tanks. July 2023. Now I'm envisioning early July, just under 40,000 US. And trucks purchased. That's another above. We've been quoted 8 million naira, so that's about 20 to 22,000 US. So roughly about 136,000 US dollars. But with the market price that Alex can get through another avenue, it could be potentially less than that. So yeah, we get to actually from the ground up design, brand this Xanders water from the get-go, and design everything, have everything new. So yeah, I'm really, for me personally, from a project aspect, I've done construction and stuff like that, I think this is the way to go. We're not going to have the issues. We're going to get all the training on all the new equipment, whereas we're going to hire someone in to try and, you know, give us training for the new workers and stuff. But yeah, stop staring at the screen. Now, do we have any questions? Yes. Is there a limit to how much water can be extracted over any period? Is the supply unlimited for our purposes? From what Alex has mentioned to me, she's checked all that, and because there's already a bore in the apartments set up, so there'll be no issues with the water in relation to sorry, I'm not going to try and answer what I don't know, Mark. I'll get back to you, but I know Alex, with her, she's really high thinker and thinks about so much stuff. So she it's something that I believe she would have thought about, but I'll ask her now if she's got, are there any planning issues with building a factory? Any, the planning issues, the only planning issues that we're going to have is very minimal. It's called the NAVDAC. So anything in Nigeria you can just build. Doesn't matter if it's residential, commercial. It's ridiculous in a way, but it's good for us. But we have to meet a standard in relation to the water and food and something. So once it's all set up, it's the water that will be tested, and that's what we have to pass, which that's going to be the very bare minimum, because even that isn't the best quality of water from but yeah, that's why we're looking at the reverse osmosis instead of just the filtration. Yeah, but definitely my phone's just mucked up, so I can't ask her right now, but
that's all right.
I'll get back to you about that one. Any other questions while I'm waiting for an answer with Alex?
So what's the bare minimum we have to have in place in order to start a small operation?
The bare minimum in relation to commercial quality, or like that?
Well, we've got a blank canvas, so presumably we need some kind of structure and security. Is that all what's planned to be built without physically building a building, or is it just starting off small, building a small room and then expanding around that?
Oh no, sorry. This everything that I listed on the that's the whole factory.
Have they got a design for what they're building?
Well, we've only just decided what we're doing. We've got a little bit of probably a week, 2 weeks to do that, because we're going to be building the perimeter and getting the bore hole sorted. And in that space of time, they'll be getting the surveyor in first and working out where the best place to do the bore. That's the number one priority. There's no point building and then realizing we got to drill the hole right there. Great questions though. That's definitely something we are looking at. But yeah, we will be building the factory as such to get it operational with room, because it's massive, room to actually expand, but having the ample, like the electrical stuff all ready to go to expand, rather than just some people, when you build a house or don't allow for expansion and whatnot, and then you have to add something bigger, which costs a lot more money to actually get the power to the next place. So although I'm not an electrician, but that's from my understanding, and that's just an example. Yeah. Is there any other questions? And no silly questions, guys. There are no silly questions. Like, any question is relevant. Sorry. Yeah.
I guess the key one is I can't remember the total on the slide you had before, but with the funds that you've got in round one investment pool, is that enough to cater for what you need in the short term to get up and running?
Well, right now, this is I think June, July. So we were in the same position as what we were with so with the factory, what Alex was, I'll just interpret what she was saying, or just rehash what she is saying. Like, they gave us an opportunity to move into the factory with X amount of funds. We had that, and we had just transferred it to them. But I believe because we paid a bit of money to get it, because we wanted to make sure that it ran everything properly, everything worked. Obviously, we didn't push it enough or they didn't push it enough for it to burn out, like, pretty much. But because the real estate saw that it was good, that's why they obviously, we got another buyer, we can get more money for it. A further requirement we need is to get everything done. I think from memory, we need to raise another 50 to 75,000 to get it completely up and running. That's one thing that we haven't been able to, like, Alex hasn't been able to focus on, because she's been running around that real estate trying to sort this stuff out. She flew her husband to the East Coast to get the money because of the issues in Nigeria at the moment, just because of the election. And while he was over there, that's when they pulled it from the market and sold it. So, and then it was just that frantic. So with this, we can, we're going to be able to focus on raising the funds. And I guess for those, we've got leaders who, we've got a clear outline of exactly what's going to happen now, and people are going to be, I guess more, in tune, or okay, I can see exactly what's happening now, because we were a little bit all over the place because of the real estate changing everything on us. So I guess for everyone, it might have come across like, I don't know what they're doing, or the plan is. There's no clear plan. But we've got a clear plan now, especially with the cost analysis of everything and a clear timeline, which I guess in hindsight, we should have looked at this to begin with. But with everything, all good things, like you make mistakes and you own them and you learn from them. And luckily we didn't learn it by experience, by actually purchasing this, we would have still had to raise all this money, because it's only like 12,000 US to completely purchase it. So 12,000 less to completely purchase the factory. So we're still in that same predicament of, we still need to raise these funds, but we don't have you've got to raise the rest of the funds. We'll give you the factory, but you've only got 2 to 3 weeks to raise the money, the rest of the money. So, which we still believed we could, but this way there's small little goals, like get the ball, and at the same time we're chipping away with the crowdfunding. And yeah. Does that answer your question, Mark?
Yeah, as much as you can at the moment.
Yeah. Anyone else? It's good having you on these Zooms, Mark. You've got some really good questions. But yeah, so if we don't have any more questions, I'll wrap it up there. Yeah, I hope it'd be good to hear your guys' perspective on the new, I guess, tangent we're going on. I know for me, from a project aspect, this is definitely the best way to go. After looking at it, like stopping and actually analyzing everything. And then Alex told me just recently, when she called and said, "Oh, this is what happened. I just got a call from the electrician." So yeah, we can just get everything brand spanking new, and we own this process, and weekly updates with videos, and we all get to have we get to brand ourselves too, which is really important, especially moving, if we're going to be expanding, or when we expand, having state of the art, like minimalistic, but looking good and new, and not run down already a factory that we can take pride in. And also having the women and the childcare stuff happening, with being able to build that at some point as well, which will be awesome, with everything Alex wants to do with the community and stuff. But yeah.
So it could be a blessing in disguise.
Well, I believe so. And as those figures are, Alex has told me what they are. And from project aspect, everything isn't always easy. And so we've just added a little bit extra on each one. So it's I believe it's going to be less, but yeah. So yeah, I just want to say, yeah, thanks heaps for everyone for jumping on.